Spring break is a time for fun and trouble. But how far's too far? These girls give a whole new meaning to Girls Gone Wild. But of course, they do with a big spring break down in Florida. This is 2013 Spring Breakers. Spoiler alert, while I might be giving you my opinion on the film, that's no substitute for watching it for yourself. Links to the film are in the description. And for those of you that need to hear this is just a movie. All stunts are for the sake of story and shouldn't be attempted on your own. No animals were harmed in the making of this film. Viewer discretion is advised. We open up to waves crashing on the beach. And suddenly, it's spring break on the beach. Everyone's having a rip-roaring time drinking and dancing. And of course things get out of hand with a lot of them when they get together with other beachgoers. Spring break in Florida is like something out of a movie. But we cut to Candy and the other girls as they smoke it up in a dim apartment. Then we cut back to their time in school as a presentation's given in the classroom. Brit and Candy are going through class while they write notes about the upcoming spring break. And it's clear that they have one thing on their mind. Across campus, Faith is going through a devotional. And it's clear that she's a devout Christian. Back in the dorms, Brit fills a water gun up with vodka, and she starts shooting shots. After Faith gets out of her devotional, she talks with some of the other girls about going to Florida with Brit, Candy, and Cotty. And they tell her to watch out for Brit and Candy. Called it! They even say that she has demon blood. Well, that might be a bit much. That night there's a house party on campus, and Brit's bringing in money on a side hustle. In the morning, the girls go to wake up Faith, and they mess around in the hallway while they go to get Faith's money. After counting it all up, they realize that they don't have half of what they need for spring break. Faith talks about how everyone's depressed on campus because they just keep seeing the same things over and over, and she's desperate to see something different for spring break. Cotty assures them that they're going to get out for spring break, and eventually Candy and Brit come up with an idea. Cotty tells them that she can snag one of the teacher's cars, and Candy and Brit tell Cotty that she can't be scared of the plan. The girls grab the El Camino and they drive to the local cafe where they hold up the customers and employees. After a smooth getaway, Cotty speeds down the road and sets the car on fire. When they get back to the dorm, they show Faith how much money they stole, and they tell her exactly how they got it. Faith is a little apprehensive at first, but after smoking it up, she's just happy to see all the money. Sure enough, they wind up taking a bus down to Florida, and the whole bus is already partying before they even get to the beach. Once she's down there, Faith calls her grandmother to tell her that Florida is the most spiritual place she's ever been. Faith is such a naive person. She's so innocent, and it shows. That definitely explains why they didn't even consider including her in the plan to rob the chicken shack. Faith would have been the kind of person to order something through the drive-thru while waiting in the car because she felt bad. The party rages on at the hotel where they make all sorts of new friends. And eventually, they go to a beach party where Alien is rapping on stage. After a riveting performance, the girls head out into town to ride around on scooters and eventually wind up in the hotel pool. They're absolutely in love with Florida and the lifestyle, and they never want to go back to school. Inside, Cotty is getting spiritual with some spirits, and she teases the boys until the night's over. Candy and Brit head inside to watch some My Little Pony before going to sleep, and Faith calls her grandmother again. Later that night, the girls stumble over to the corner store, and they keep drinking on the corner while singing Britney Spears. At some point, the robbery comes up, and they tell Faith exactly how things went down. If you never thought you'd see Vanessa Hudgens acting like a gangster, you never thought you'd see this movie then. If you want to get a taste of Florida, just look at the fact that these girls are full-blown reenacting the robbery in the middle of the parking lot, and no one could care less. The next day, the party continues, as does the property damage and terrible life decisions. Suddenly, we get glimpses of the girls in a cop car, and the perspective on everything starts to get really distorted. We see the police come into the room where the girls are partying, and they arrest them along with a couple of guys. Faith starts to question why this is happening, and she swears that they weren't doing anything wrong. Once at the police station, Faith swears that their sweet spring break story is not going to end this way, and the girls are taken to court the next day where they're given citations to pay. If they don't end up paying, they have to spend 2 more days in county. Honestly, 2 days in county really doesn't sound that bad. Do the time and save the money. The money they don't have anyways. Well, it turns out that Alien is in the courtroom, and he decides to bail them out. If you never thought you'd see James Franco with a grill, speaking even more broken English than he already does, you obviously never thought you'd see this movie. When the girls are let out, they find Alien waiting for them, and he tells them that he's the one that bailed them out. Faith is a little apprehensive, but Alien tells them to hop in. Cotty goes in without hesitation, and they all end up heading to a park where Alien tries to find out more about them. When he gets to Faith, he finds out that she's a church girl, and he wonders if she did a bunch of praying for her friends. He tells her that he thinks he's just the answer to her prayers. He asks if they really are out of money, and he plays up the fantasy of spring break. He tells them that he's made of money, and he'll make sure they get plenty of it. He tells them that he's a hustler, and he has an operation that runs all the way up the coast. Faith has had enough, though. She wants to go back home because this is not the spring break that she had signed up for. The other girls promise that they won't let anything happen to her, and Alien even pulls her aside at one point to check on her. When she opens up to him about her problem, he tries to tell her that he isn't the cause of her problems. He actually got her out of her issue, but she's still uncomfortable with everything. Alien tells her that he likes her, and he isn't going to do anything to hurt her. If she wants to go home, she's free to go whenever she wants, but she'll be right back where she started trying to get away from things. He tells her that she can go, but her friends are going to stay with him. Faith ends up hopping on a bus and rides all the way back to college. Back in Florida, Alien takes the other three to the beach, where he gives them a lesson on lurking sharks in the water. He takes them around town, and when he takes them home, he tells them about how he knew he wanted to grow up and be bad. He tells them that this was his dream, and he did what he had to do to make it come true. He shows off his collection of clothes, cologne, guns, money, and everything else he has bought with his dirty money. All of the girls are caught up in the glam and money, and they revel in it too. Later, they head to the club where they spend Alien's money and enjoy the finer, dirtier things St. P has to offer. While they're there, they spot Archie, who used to be a friend of Alien's. Now he's the competition and the enemy. Archie can't believe that Alien has the gall to show up in his club and flaunt his money around the club. Alien stands his ground though, and Archie leaves him to spend his money. When they get home, Alien shows off and acts like he's going to put Archie down if he has to keep what he's got. Then he remembers that he has 3 beautiful women in his room, ready to do what he wants, and he flaunts his money in their face all over again. Then he starts making out with Candy and Brit as they roll around on his money bed. But when Candy and Brit start messing around with his loaded guns, the roles change, and they stick the weapons in his mouth as they talk dirty with him. I don't care how hot you are, don't stick a loaded gun in my mouth. But this is James Franco, so of course it's going to be weird. Oddly enough, they seem to make a good trio. Cotty is too caught up in being drunk, but these 3 could be a power triangle. Later, Alien continues to baby the 3 girls, and he tells them that he wants them to be his. The 3 of them put on their own ski masks, and they show off their dark side while they carry weapons outside. As if Alien wasn't weird enough, he starts playing Britney Spears on the piano and sings in front of the sunset. This isn't what I expected. Not one bit. This is kind of uplifting. As we continue to listen to Britney Spears singing her song, the 4 of them head to another hotel room where they rob spring breakers at gunpoint. After that, they head to the arcade and a beachside wedding to do the same thing. Later on, Archie meets with his people to discuss the heat that Archie's bringing to the area, and he decides that they're going to do something about him. Alien picks up the girls on one of the bridges, and he sees the haul that they're bringing in. What they don't know is the fact that Archie's driving to intercept them. When they run into each other, Archie pulls up next to him to deliver a message. And when he drives off, his partner in crime unleashes a clip on the sports car and ends up shooting Cotty in the arm. Points to Cotty for taking that like a beast. She could have easily told him to take her to the hospital, but no. She's perfectly fine with the back alley crack house bathroom that Alien takes her to, so he can pull the slug out himself. Cotty has gone full immersion. Alien tends to her wound, and he even apologizes to her for letting this happen to her. He reminds her that he cares for her, and he promises to not let Archie get away with what he's done. Later, Cotty takes a shower and she cries to herself. Meanwhile, Alien plays the piano with his bloody fingers as he contemplates what he has to do. Finally, Cotty has had enough of spring break, and she tells the other girls that she wants to go home. Alien promises to get Archie, but he doesn't want her to go home either. Cotty recognizes that Candy and Brit absolutely love it there, and she tells them that she completely understands that they won't go back with her. While Alien plays the piano, he sings about how he's going to have to kill Archie. And in the morning, Brit and Candy say goodbye to Cotty as she hops on the bus back home. Candy and Brit are complete psychopaths. I mean, they watched Faith struggle through all her uncomfortable moments, and Cotty just got shot in the arm for crying out loud. What are they gonna do, go home? Absolutely not. They're going back to Alien's house to swim in the pool and get freaky with him. This is definitely a spring break to remember. After getting freaky in the pool, Alien talks to Candy and Brit about getting ready to take out Archie. And they actually call him out for being the scared one. They head inside to get the guns ready, and they just keep getting freaky-deaky in the process. Archie could die of old age by the time they're ready. At one point, Brit calls home to her mother, and she swears that she wants to change and just be a good girl right now. After her, Candy calls her mom, and she tells her mom that she's coming home and back to school. Then she tells her that she loves her, and she's going to be the best she can be. That night, the 3 of them take a boat out to Archie's, and they make their way up the pier. As they go up, Alien ends up getting shot to death by the first guy they come across. But Candy and Brit keep pushing forward and take the guy out. As they come across the rest of the gangsters in the house, they take them all out and keep pushing forward. When they finally get to Archie, they shoot him down in the bathtub, and they leave in his Lamborghini. As the girls drive around town, we get a glimpse of what their spring break ended up being like compared to the other traditional spring breakers. And they keep going. We see that they actually came back to give Alan a kiss before going into Archie's, but then the world fades to black, then the credits roll. I'm not really sure what I expected from it, but this was definitely different. I think the word I'm trying to think of is better. This was better than I thought it would be. There was definitely more content in it than just another Party Week gone wrong movie though. Give it a shot. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.